Look, my hair look crazy. That don't matter though. I just got out of bed and literally gotta drop this video within less than 2 hours. So let me record this shit real quick for y'all. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is J motherfucking Salty. Don't forget the J and don't forget to get a little salty. I am the light skin wizard, the light skin therapist, the light skin mister can take your bitch, and just a light skin nigga in general. If you don't know me now, you know me. And for today's video, we're gonna be reacting to she faked having Down syndrome to promote her OF. No explanation. Let's get into it.
Channel plenty of times and on many other platforms. The gooning epidemic is gone totally south. Whether it be Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips with their extreme OF fantasies, or that one dude that's on TikTok or Twitter right now ranking past performers and talking about them as if he's like the Stephen A. Smith of the gooning community.
You're delusional if you can't see how OnlyFans has ruined the league, just like NIL in college. There's potential to make more money, but athletes are completely avoiding real competition and unknowingly ruining their own development. It's even keeping the top performers from going pro.
But the people who are constantly looking for pornography online have truly gotten out of hand. And what's even worse is that the people who are providing and supplying the pornography have also gotten out of pocket. We've seen the ones that have played into the video game fetishes. We've seen the ones who have played into the, I don't know, the anime fetishes and all that stuff like that. But there is a new fetish out there for the gooning community that totally takes the cake in all of this.
What the fuck?
If she's down, I'm a chromosexual now. Jennifer's Lopez straight out of downtown. If she can handle my special needs, if she trying to...
That don't even look right. Why it look like a deep fake?
Cake is cake, no matter the baker. I reach you for a 7 out of 46. Hola, como estas? Down syndrome. I didn't know they started making them like this. Once we all are linked, she might be down, but something is definitely us.
Man, what the hell is this? There's been a recent trend that's emerging and people are finally sniffing it out. But these people are using AI, something that we've talked about, and digitally altering their face to put Down syndrome-esque people over their face. You know, doing a full-on face swap, AI, whatever it's called.
I knew it. What the fuck?
Fake. I don't even, it's disgusting to even talk about. But they are putting out goon and goon-like material on top of that AI face, that disgusting ass behavior.
Those I get my pimp. Wait.
This is one of the most disgusting things that I have ever seen on social media. There are women out there.
Yo, Joey be too, like, Joey, I love that Joey takes this shit seriously, but I don't know why this shit was too funny, bro. I'm off the wake up, bro. This shit, like, nah.
They're using filters and AI to make it appear as if they have Down syndrome just so they can sell more subscriptions to their OF account. Now, I don't know if they're stealing content or using their own, but why in the world does this filter even exist in the first place? And how sick in the head do you have to be to actually do this? And what type of pervert sicko actually goes?
I'm a very true believer on karma. And like, if you do something, God will humble you. So I feel like the people that are doing this, you never know if God will humble you with a kid that has Down syndrome, or, you know, maybe a family member. But in my opinion, this is very fucked up, and you shouldn't be mocking the, as for someone that knows somebody that got a sibling that got Down syndrome. Nah.
And subscribes.
Now, what I will say, the link from Down Cheery Girl has been taken down. She no longer has an Instagram account, but I'm pretty sure another one will pop up in a couple of days. But why? Why this? Who could be so deviously creative in order to come up with some sort of shit like this? And also, did y'all know that Joey Swole was like 4'11"? That has nothing to do with the conversation. But
wait, what?
Well, why this? Who could be so deviously creative in order to come up with some sort of shit like this? And also, did y'all know that Joey Swole was like 4'11"?
Holy shit, I did not know that.
That has nothing to do with the conversation, but I just had to put that out there. Now, I'm not saying that people with Down syndrome can't have sex or be a part of this type of community or whatever the case may be. Like, if somebody that seriously had Down syndrome would start to participate in some sort of sexual activity, sex work or whatever, I think all of it is a little crazy, but that's their body, that's their choice, they're doing what they do. But this is clear manipulation of somebody's face that doesn't have Down syndrome to put somebody who does have Down syndrome on top of their face. face in order to sell goon-like material. The fetishization community has gotten super out of control. These are taboo things that people talked about on the fringes. It doesn't just stop with them, but every community has some sort of kink and fetish about them now. I see these POV, you're dating X, Y, and Z type of person, and it's all a bunch of stereotypes that are playing on these grown-ass men's goon obsessions in order to get cash and dollars out of them. Like literally putting stereotypes that arguably don't exist in these communities on these types of women because they know that men are just overly and dangerously horny.
Baby, where'd you put
Wait, what did you just call me?
Baby.
Amor, how many times I gotta tell you I don't like to get called baby, babe, pumpkin, sweetheart, smooches, sweetie. I'm Latina. I want you to call me mamacita, mami, hermosa, preciosa, mi reina, mi princesa. ¿Dónde vas tan hermosa hoy? Chulada, mamacita, bebé, bombón. Understood?
See, boom.
Nigga, what?
Okay, gracias, papi.
De nada, mamicita.
Now, in situations like that, this person is an actual Latina, so she can use her identity in order to, you know, drum up some more views and content and stuff like that. I think it's weird. I think a lot of people in her community would find it weird. I think that this is even worse. Like this, you could be a sex worker here, and then playing into these fetishes and stereotypes and all these other things brings you down just a couple notches. And not saying that sex workers are on any, look, I don't even want to get into that. If you are a sex worker fetishizing yourself for other people who aren't inside your community and, you know, trying to play on these stereotypes, that's weird. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's gross. But an even bigger problem is,
Hey, I got a better one after what he just said. Even though he probably just said it. Just don't be a sex worker. Why sell your body? Don't do it.
when these people are putting on these fake personas like the Down syndrome gooner content in question, in which they don't live these actual lives. These are AI digitally deep faked images, you know, putting on this face or persona or personality or whatever, and then putting sexually explicit conversations on there. I think people are so gooned out because these used to be like back of the bus type conversations or questions that people would ask in their group chat. Not to the extent of like Down syndrome, although I know some people get that crazy. But to the extent of, oh, would you date somebody with one arm, or would you date somebody who had a shaved head, or whatever the case may be. When we got to the point of would you smash somebody with Down syndrome, I have no clue. But this isn't even something that is on people's mind. But because men are so gooned out in 2020.
Bro, chat, I ain't gonna lie. Back in 2022, I remember I went on Tinder for the first time, and I met this one girl, and all her pictures, she looked cool and she looked valid. But then when I met her in person, her whole left side was paralyzed. So that shit was such a turn off for me. And I was like, no offense to people like that. Like, I'm not trying to offend nobody, but it was just for me, you know, it was a bit of a turn off. And it made me think to myself how, like, people will fantasize over certain things. So you kind of realize that those type of people are very fucking weird. It made me realize I ain't a weird individual.
25, just the thought,
because she used to tell me like a lot of guys that she used to fuck with fantasize over the fact that she was paralyzed on the left side of her whole body as like in a sexual way, which was mad weird.
Sort of woman, and then the idea of having sex with them, like objectifying them in a sexual manner, automatically turns them on to an experience that they never thought they were. I know it's going to be a crazy connection, but every time you see a celebrity do some outrageous thing where they have, I don't know, crazy sex parties, and the average civilian is like, oh, how could this happen? This is exactly how stuff like this happens. A regular person isn't even thinking about stuff like this, but when presented in this hypersexual world, that reality, automatically their penis becomes hard and they automatically turn their goon receptors on to level 3000, even if it's for something that is fake, which, might I remind you, this AI Down syndrome filter is fake.
This woman might look like she has Down syndrome, but she doesn't. It's an AI filter. Videos have been taken from the account of a 16-year-old girl and used to make a fake profile of someone with Down syndrome. Text used on the videos is sexual, and the profile contains a link to OnlyFans, a subscription website where users can pay for things like explicit images. And this is just one example. We've seen multiple accounts on Instagram, some with tens of thousands of followers, all using these filters and linking out to accounts on OnlyFans.
I promise y'all I'm learning this out in real time with you guys. So not only
for the people that are liking these videos and find these videos appealing, y'all niggas is weird.
Fetishization of people with disabilities. Not only is these AI generated images, but this is also somebody stealing somebody's content, and not just somebody underage. The person on the other end of this that's watching this content is a real perv, but the person providing this literally deserves a jail time. They know what they're doing. They know that they're trying to pass this off as some sort of adult that's making some sort of decision making, but also keeping that power dynamic in check, and letting the viewer know that you still have some power because this is somebody disabled that can't make these this is wrong on so many levels. There's so many layers to this conversation now. Whoever this is needs their IP address leaked and then put on a list, because there's no way that they can be this money hungry to the point where like they are just so morally disturbed that they will put this shit out. Like I really can't even fathom what I'm looking at. And I know the people that are a part of the community with Down syndrome, those that have special needs, obviously have to be pissed off about stuff like this, because this is absolutely disgusting.
We reached out to representatives for Ellie Goldstein. She's a prominent model with Down syndrome. Her agent told us the use of AI to fetishize disabilities is unacceptable and called for social media platforms to take action. OnlyFans told us none of the linked accounts contained any content altered with AI, and Instagram's told us it's removed the profiles found to violate its policies.
Kudos to these platforms for taking a serious stand on this. Oftentimes we don't see this from, social media platforms. They are usually view hungry, conglomerates who would do anything to keep people on their social media sites. But I am glad that they actually checked into these things, actually made responses.
That's a big surprise. I ain't gonna lie. They be keeping weird shit. So for them to not keep this, all right.
To denounce the fact that they are any part supportive of any of this BS that's being put out on the internet. I want to go on a little rant here about fetish content and why it's bad. And I think as a black man, a dark-skinned black man, I can kind of speak to this from my own perspective. See, the problem with fetish content or fetishizing someone is that they become an object. They become a plaything. And if we look at the realities of...
What does your skin color have to do with a human fetishizing over? Like, okay, I understand that there have been like people that will fetishize over black people, but there's also people that fetishize over white people. I've met women that fetishize over me in school. But like, I don't like when people use their skin color as a way of like trying to sit there and say like, oh, just because you're white, you can't experience this. Just because you're black, like I'm a mixed person, so like I'm able to really experience. I don't want to say both worlds, but I don't like when people use their skin color. You feel me?
Of the situation at hand, the one where there are AI Down syndrome filters, it puts out this conversation about, how somebody with Down syndrome doesn't have the mental capabilities. There can be a power dynamic that can be put into place, and how ultimately you can take advantage with it being okay because she or he or whoever is participating is some sort of an adult. Look, full stop, faking any sort of disability is disgusting. We've seen that be played out on the internet many of times where people might be panhandling or asking for any sort of contributions to their life and their well-being, and then ultimately they end up being in some big old house that's real or whatever the case may be. They didn't need to beg. They said they had no leg or whatever the case may be. But what I find especially disgusting is when somebody takes advantage of the concept of being mentally disabled. Now, speaking from experience, I do have a lot of people in my family who are mentally disabled, whether it be with Down syndrome, whether it be with things like schizophrenia. And I find anybody that takes advantage of them, that lifestyle, and how society sees these people as deplorable as hell. And I love my cousins and my aunts and my uncles who all do have these things in their lives. And let's get clear, they're not suffering from these things. They are living with these things. They are thriving with these things. But what I find to be terrible is the fact that there will be people out there who would take how society sees those types of people, the people that have...
I have family too.
Something going on mentally, and saying, hey, I am going to monetize it by faking it. I am going to make these people the object of...
Trust me, God will humble these people if it has to come down to them having a kid that has one of these disabilities. And I pray that that doesn't happen. But people are going to learn the hard way. I don't think we need to watch more of this video. I think that's really about it for today's video, guys. When it comes to this type of content, for the people that don't engage with it, do your thing. But for the people that do engage with it, y'all are really the weird ones for even allowing these people to let them have these platforms. Mad weird for y'all to sit there and fantasize over them weird shit. But at the end of the day, chat, I cannot speak. At the end of the day, chat, make sure to like this video, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and make sure to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JSalty, and I'm out, guys.
Alright, free all baby, man. This one from the heart. My day ones are angels, 120 degrees and threes work all angles. My brother died early, got his halo. My name is section that I can't go.